go.
Five.
Guys, how funny. You guys, well, we couldn't start First Two Steps any other way than talking about hair. Um, welcome to the show, guys. Welcome. Another edition of First Two Steps. I'm so happy to be here tonight with you guys. We are so lucky that we get Tim Bring the Pain Lane for a second time, not once, but twice. He has such an incredible story that we had to bring him back to do number two. And we are so excited to have him this time around. We are going to dive a little bit deeper into his story and all that he does, because he does such incredible things outside of the ring. So I'm really excited to share his story, part two. Welcome, Brian. Brian, tonight, guys, on First Two Steps is going to be a little bit more of my co-host. We're gonna bring him out to the front lines a little bit more. He's gonna get involved. I know him and Tim. Not only do they have the same hairdo, but they're also good friends. So, so we'll be talking to Brian too today. So let's get started. For those that do not know and didn't watch our first episode, Tim Lane is a world kickboxing champion, kickboxing coach, professional boxers and mixed martial arts athletes all over the world. So he's been continuing to stay in martial arts as an instructor. He's a coach for children, and now he lives in Sin City, Las Vegas. And he's training at Extreme Couture MMA, correct?
Yes.
Awesome. So those that live in Las Vegas, take a class with him. Please do. Welcome, Tim. Thanks for being here again. How are you?
Thank you. Good. How you doing, Rock?
I'm doing so good. Happy to see you again.
Yeah, it's great to see you again.
Yeah, and happy to dive in a little bit deeper. So we talked a lot about your entire career. The first episode, we talked about the trials and tribulations, why you kind of fell in love with, fighting and being in the ring. This time around, I want to talk about your life after that. So tell us first, because I know you went through some things while as a kid, and we're going to dive right into it, guys. We're going to get into it. Tim has an amazing story, so I really want to dive as deep as possible, as deep as he'll let us go. But talk about kind of your childhood and maybe some things that went on and really shaped everything for you leading up into your fighting days.
Well, Rock, thank you for always introducing so well. You make me feel so good when I come on here.
Good.
So, Rock, I've been sharing my story quite a bit, which I also shared with you guys last time. And I've been learning a lot through this veteran organization, MVP. And what it's made me do is analyze my childhood and come up with some of the key points of what it was that kept happening to me.
Right.
And talking to my parents and talking to my sister and talking to other family members growing up, I found out that before the age of 4, when I was in Germany, when I was 2 years old, I fell out of my high chair and I fractured my skull. So I had head trauma at a very early age that I didn't even know about.
Wow, at 2? That happened at 2 years old? Wow.
Yes, I was told. I don't recall anything at that time, but my first memories in life were curry dish related.
That's right.
So yeah. So at the age of 4 to 5, I lived with my aunt, and her husband was from India. So we ate all, curry food. So I not only had bushy red hair, but I smelled like curry.
Yeah.
And, I was picked on, and, I can kind of laugh at it now, Rock, but
back then, no.
I'm able to talk to you about it right now, but, there is emotion that brews if I speak about any particular story like that. I still have it. It's not overwhelming now, but I still have emotion. And the emotion I had during that year was that all human beings are cruel and everyone is bad. Nobody likes me. Nobody looks like me. Some people smell like me, but they don't look like me. So I'm not even accepted anywhere. And when I moved, my father came and got me, and we moved to Oklahoma. And I had I started in martial arts, and I felt great about myself. I defended myself. I got in a few fights, but mainly I had a best friend, and his name was Jamar Workman. And Jamar, we played football together, we played soccer together. We were inseparable. We had bunk beds at both of our houses, so we would always sleep and do sleepovers and things. And from the age of 5 to 10, there wasn't really any crazy things that happened where I had what I know now is like a flashlight or a flashback. I would see a light and then I would black out. And when my father moved from Oklahoma, we moved to Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, and we were only there for 10 weeks. So 10 weeks, I think I told you guys I had that yellow snowsuit, and somebody made I thought I was cool, but somebody made fun of me, and I had a flash because people were making fun of me. And I don't remember what I did, but I was aggressive on the boy, and then I got in trouble for it. But I didn't even care because I was leaving.
Right.
And
Wow. So you would get so, do you think that you would get so angry that you would just kind of like black out type of thing?
The feeling, Rock, here's the feeling. I just wanted people to like me, man. I just wanted to fit in, and wherever I went, people would make fun of me. Besides my best friend Jamar, me and him were super tight, and I was in the same neighborhood for almost 5 years. So all the kids, no matter what you look like, no matter what you smelled like, 5 years is enough time to get to know people. And I'm real close with him. But once I moved, that first feeling that happened, I wasn't mad that he said that. I was just so upset that other people were looking at me and thinking that I'm a fool, or that they didn't like me. So something would happen with my chemicals, and it wasn't just anger. It was a bunch of other feelings that would make me, I guess, see a light, and then I would just go off. And that lasted, I was there 10 weeks, and then I moved to Fayetteville, North Carolina, Fort Bragg, and I was there for 2 years. So during that 2-year period, I got into several fights, but I was also in sports. I don't remember any crazy type flashbacks during that time. But then my father moved outside Washington, D.C. when I was 12 years old. And that's when there was over 7,000 people in the school, and somebody bumped into me, and that same feeling happened again. I saw all the people that were looking at me and thinking, that I'm going to get beat up or thinking bad about me. And I just wanted them to like me. I just wanted to fit in. So, I would just, I guess flash back and go out.
And just go out and go at it.
Yep, go at it. And that carried on for a long time,
How long would you say that carried on until you finally realized and or grasped that maybe something was going on here? When was the first time where you were like, you were cognizant of it and you really realized, man, something's going on here, I don't know why I'm either reacting that way, or maybe there's another way, or when did you finally realize that?
5.5 years ago.
Wow.
5.5 years ago. Yeah, Rob. So what I kept doing is I would do great somewhere, but then something would happen one way or another, and I would fall back into that same flashback type feeling. I wake up, I'm in jail. How am I in jail? Again, I promised my mom again, I wouldn't be back in jail. But something would happen if people looked at me wrong or said something to me wrong, that, there would be some kind of light. And now what made it worse, Rock, is if I had any type of substances, if I have alcohol, if I have pain medication. When I retired from my career, Rock, you gotta remember, I'm aggressive, and that's how I'm letting things out, the way I deal with it.
Right.
People tell me, hey, Tim, man, I think you need to see a psychologist. And I'm like, you know what? I'll never share with a psychologist the graphic stuff that happened violently in my life, because I know that person has never been punched in their face, or they never been locked up in the bathroom, with a crazy gorilla. You know what I mean? So if I don't think somebody's been at battle, I would never share anything with them.
Because you don't think they can even grasp or fathom what you're thinking, what you're going through. Yeah, I could understand that for sure. And you have like a very like that warrior concept that you were talking about, right? Like you're going in there to win at all costs, no matter what, you know?
Rock, you know, my saying was live by the sword and die by the sword.
Mm-hmm.
And I made that decision when I was, you know, when I was younger, you know, from 4 to 5, there was some times I said, man, look, nobody likes me. I don't, you know, I don't know where my parents are, you know, this whole situation, I don't want to be here no more. You know, I said that when I was 4 years old. And in battle after battle after battle, the same situation would come in my mind. And I would say, you know what, Rock? I am supposed to die in battle. So every time I go to battle, it seems weird to say it, but that was the picture in my mind. I mean, my fight camps, I was going to war, and people are like, "Man, Tim is putting on this act, you know, this for things to be, you know." But Tim, you're not on a reality show. Like, there's no cameras. Why are you acting like that? And people would say things like that, but I never even heard them. I was like, "Man, y'all don't even know where I'm at."
Right. Y'all
Where I'm
can't
at.
even comprehend where my mind is at right now. You have no idea.
Nope. And I hid behind the fighting. All those emotions, Rock, hid behind the fighting. And then I retired from my fight career.
Yeah, so talk
My
about
body,
that. Talk about that, because if all of those emotions hid behind the fight and then when you retired, where did those emotions go? They didn't have a place to go. So what happened next?
well, Rock, my body was hurting so bad. And I shifted my intention of life. You know, my purpose in life was to fight, but now I'm not fighting, so I'm gonna be a fight coach. So I started training fighters. My first boxer, his name is Raul Nuncio, and he's from El Salvador. He's the only person from El Salvador to ever win the Golden Gloves at Madison Square Garden. And
Wow.
he, hey Rock, he used to make my sandwich every Saturday morning. And this is where I would always do on Saturdays for a couple years. And one day he said, I had a black eye. He said, you know, what happened to your eye? And I said, I'm a fighter. So long story short, I started training him and he cleaned his life up and he did really well. And he went to Madison Square Garden and I got goosebumps from training him, Rob.
Of
And
course,
then I
because
did
you
it.
already knew. You already knew. You already knew he was going to be special.
Yeah. So I end up covering up the pain in my body with pain medication. And a year goes by, I have a Golden Glove champion. Another years go by, I have another Golden Glove champion. And the goosebumps weren't the same.
Mm-hmm.
And the pain medication was kind of what was getting me through just another day. And I didn't have a whole lot of hope, Rock. I was trying to look for my goosebumps. I'm like, hey, I got a champion. I got, you know, champion fighters here and here. Well, I lost hope, Rock. End up one day, I said, man, you know what? I look around me and my vibe and everything about life had just, if I feel like I hit a wall
Mm-hmm.
and something was burning inside me. I said, man, I can't live like this. When I go to sleep, people come and they come to me. I see their eyes. The people I was violent with, they come back to me and they say, why'd you do this to me? I couldn't sleep right, Rock. And I said, okay, what's my next mission? I'm asking what my next mission is. Where's my goosebumps at? I
Mm-hmm.
didn't get no goosebumps. I said, you know what? I don't want to be here no more. The world's been going to war. All this crazy stuff going on in the world. I don't like people don't like me anyway. I'm a ginger. And no matter what the world and what you may think of me, Rock, at that time I lost hope.
Mm-hmm.
I said I'm gonna live by the sword and I'm gonna die by the sword. So I planned it out that I was going to leave life by taking a knife and sticking it into my stomach, just like a true warrior would do, die by the sword.
Wow.
So what I did is I planned this out and I I ended up going to do this and I go to Iraq and I try to come up with anything. Should I live for anything? I couldn't come up with no reasons. So I took the knife and I put it in my stomach and I pulled it out and I laid there to leave. I lay there for over 5 hours before the sun came up somehow somebody was walking a dog. The dog found me. The dude called police. Somehow they airlifted me out. I passed out. I woke up in the hospital with my mother next to me, and I guess it had been maybe a day or so. They had me hooked up to all types of pipes
Mhm.
and tubes and things, and they brought me back to life. And you know, and
Wow.
I just I said right there, okay, I can't leave this way, so I'm gonna go right back into the fight career. I'm gonna leave New York. I'm gonna pursue the career of the professional boxer that I'm working with and bring him out to be the best boxer in the world. And I packed my car up 4 months later and drove out here to Las Vegas and never talked to nobody about it. I just kept it inside, and I told everybody I fell on a knife. I said, and everybody's like, "Man, you did what? You fell on a knife, man. You world champion. How did that even
That
happen?"
doesn't sound like you.
You know,
Yeah.
I think some people may have had imagined what had happened, but nobody. Maybe people
Vocalizes.
did ask me. People may have asked me, but I lied. I was in a frame of mind where
Mhm.
I was, hey, it was an accident. I was never going to tell anybody, nor did I think I would ever tell anybody. I just packed up my car. I let my stomach heal up a little bit, and I drove out here with the boxer that I ended up training to become a world champion.
Wow. Very
Um,
heavy, very powerful though, because of where you are now and how, you went through something like that. A lot of people don't know what that feels like. They don't know anybody that goes through anything like that. They have no information on it at all. But to see you here, to see and have you share that story, because that's a hard story to share. Just like you said, you didn't want to tell anybody about it, but you're on here, you're on this show, and you're sharing it with us because we need to destigmatize that these things do happen. Like, this is an incredible journey that you have been on. And man, like, wow, to be there and to have a second chance, and for your mom to be there, and for you to realize that you want to continue fighting, literally and figuratively continue fighting, is just incredible. So I commend you for even sharing that with us. We really appreciate that. And for people that may have been going through something like that, it's very powerful. Um, so tell us, like, what happens next in this chapter? You going through something like that, I imagine, has to stay with you. That stays with you. It doesn't go anywhere. So what happens now? This second chance.
well, what I did, Rock, I drove out here, and my boxer moved out here, and I started a class at Randy Couture's gym, Extreme Couture MMA. So I
Mhm.
started with one class, and I built that one class up into 17 classes per week. So I had an amazing, great business going on. My boxer ended up, my boxer didn't, well, my boxer became a world champion, and he became a world champion on HBO Boxing After Dark. And now my career as a coach is now full time. So now my whole identity, my whole life is being a fighter, from a little kid, and now it's being a fight coach. And this is, I've only had 4 boxers. They were 3 Golden Glove champions, and now he's a professional world boxing champion. So he has a big fight in Hong Kong. It's in China, and it's on pay-per-view. And now I'm full time working with him, big pay-per-view show.
Mhm.
And in the middle of the show, the ring announcer comes up to me and says something to me in the corner, and my fighter is not winning the fight. But as he asked me a question, I'm talking to him and watching the fight, and my fighter gets dropped. And long story short, my identity as being a coach ended that night because the media all over the world
Tore
said
it
that
up. Yeah.
I'm the worst coach in the history of boxing. And I he's the only boxer I have, so this guy shouldn't even be a boxing coach anyway. So right there in Hong Kong that night, I realized that I am no longer a fighter, and I can no longer be a coach. All over the media in the world, I don't have nothing to do with fighting anymore. So I come back to America, and I get a whole lot more bad publicity. I had already given up my classes at the gym, and you know what, Rock? I was done. This is a wrap. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and exit properly this time. And instead of putting a knife in my stomach, I'm gonna take a knife and cut my head. I'm gonna cut it from ear to ear and go ahead and get up out of here. That's what I said, Rock. So I did it again, Rock. I got in my car. I put my bike in my car. I went down to 15, and I had never told anybody this, Rock. This is the first time I'm telling this, Rock.
Oh my goodness.
I get out there to the mountain. I drive my bike out 7 miles from the highway. I got a knife with me. I drive to the mountain. I leave my bike at the bottom of the hill. I go to the top of the mountain. It's about midnight now. And now I'm ready to go. I am 100% truly ready to go. I pop my knife open. And now I look up. I'm ready to go. And I look up at the sky, Rock. And the stars started falling out of the sky, Rock. I said, man, what? I dropped my knife and said, what? I said, what's going on, man?
Mm-hmm.
I wiped my eyes, Rock, and I said, this can't be real. Where's my knife at? I can't find my knife. I said, man, what's going on here? I get to the bottom of the mountain. I can't find my bike. I had to walk back 7 miles. And while I'm walking back 7 miles, Rock, I said, okay, y'all not gonna let me leave?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm not a fighter. I'm not a fight coach. Well, lead me to where I'm gonna go and show me what I really am. What am I? So as I'm walking to my car, Rock, I said, I am going to go and follow the path of that voice that I sometimes don't listen to. I get to my car, I go home, and that's when I got the phone number for the emotional intelligence class that I went to that made me look at my life and look at these things that happen and put them up on a board and find out exactly what emotion that triggered. And that it wasn't my fault. It wasn't my fault. I made some bad choices along my life, but those things that happened, those flashbacks and those things that happened, it wasn't my fault. There is a way to fix it. You just have to trust. You got to trust somebody.
Mm-hmm.
So I trusted, you know, what many people say is to be God, you know, whatever you believe in, you know, hey, universe, guide me in the right way. So he guided me to the emotional intelligence class where I found out that my strongest power was love. And that opened something up in me. And 2 months after I was done with this program, MVP started at our gym. MVP was started by Randy Couture. But somehow I said in my mind, I need something in my life. Please, I'm not into fighting anymore. You know, I don't want to beat people up no more. I don't want no competition no more. I just want to help. I want to hug. I want to open, and I want people to help. And that's when the veterans came into my life, these professional athletes that have retired, and then the Parkinson's patients, and then the kids, the troubled youth, all these things that I've done in my life, Rock. I said, please give me some goosebumps. And the universe gave me goosebumps, Rock.
They did. I'm so happy. That makes me so happy that you got goosebumps. I've never cared about goosebumps as much as I do now. So incredible. So I think it's so ironic that a man that had such a warrior type lifestyle, his strongest power is love. That is just nuts. So tell us again, like, tell us about those goosebumps and now how you get them, because you get them regularly now with the people that you meet and the people that you help. So talk to us about that and that this chapter of your life that seems so full of love and goosebumps.
Yes, well, Rock, you know, where I found the love from was when I was in this class, other people sharing about their story, just like we do in MVP, but when they shared things like that, and then I looked at my own life, I was like, man, you know what? Man, mine wasn't that bad, you know, considering some of the things that I heard.
Mm-hmm.
And then, you know, with the veteran program, learning that there's different things that can help some of the frequencies of my brain that were disrupted from a skull fracture at the age of 2 and then traumatic brain injury throughout my life. I mean, I a lot.
Yeah.
So with putting that together and being able to see things the way they are now, the feeling that I have, the love that I have, and the goosebumps that I feel, that's what I've been searching for. And every time I'm around a veteran, I can feel that I'm able to help, and they know that I'm only coming at them in a positive manner. So being able to see, what Brian was talking about before, saying that sometimes we have haters when we're doing good in our life, and sometimes we have positive people. When I broke things down, there are really only two ways you can go in life. It's either positive or negative. And those are the people you put around yourself, and those are the situations you put yourself around. So what I'm doing in my life is everything positive. The boys' baseball team, man, gives me goosebumps. I love those kids. So yeah, that love that I feel, the helping with People Rock, it comes from each of these organizations. And I haven't met you in person yet, Rock, but I can feel you through here. I can feel people now.
That is so amazing. That is so
Yes.
amazing. Yeah. I love that. Like I said, I mean, I really think you're an incredible person. If you had not shared that, we would have no idea, and there's a lot of people around the world that live just like that. We have no idea what everyday people go through and what they face and the things that they deal with on a daily, and maybe the emotions that they battle with on the daily, So I want to bring Brian in because I know that he wanted to discuss, especially the kids' baseball team. I want to hear about that. Let's see, is he here? No, he's not. Oh, he is, but there's no video.
There's not? Hold on.
We need to see you.
There?
Nope. Okay, guys. It's live, so there's always going to be some technical difficulties. If there weren't, it would be no fun. Am I right?
Can you see me, Rock?
There we go. There we go.
Okay. You're much there. I am. Thank you, Alan.
There you go, my friend. So just go ahead, Brian. I know you had some questions for Tim.
No, Tim, you in there, buddy?
Yep.
All right, there you are. First off, Rock is much better at this than I am, and I go through and as we started this and we talk about a lot of things, it's kind of crazy how we get into it. For me, I love sports. I love my kids. Very simple for that. And when you and I talked, it was like immediately, I think we were on the phone almost an hour the first time. We were going through this stuff and just connecting. And some of the questions in my notes that I did write down and go through, that it had baseball in there, because at all the times that I've talked with you, it's always been about the training and things of that nature. And that was one of the biggest things for me, is I was like, where in the world did the love for the kids and the baseball come into play? And I had my theories, if you will, or my ideas and different things of that nature. But you and I have never talked about that. We've always talked about knocking somebody out, or what we did, or pain, or sorry, or what led us to get to the point of first two steps, if you will. And so for that is my biggest thing. When you talk about baseball and those goosebumps, and I'm telling you, because I can relate to that part of having kids of my own, is that what, from there, we'll start there for a second. What got you in there? Why baseball of all things? Why not a tennis or a football? But with the baseball program, and I saw your video today, which was incredible with these kids. What got that going first off? I mean, that's something that I love.
Mm-hmm.
Brian, it got going because I have a relationship with a guy named Jerome Sapp. And Jerome Sapp is a former Baltimore Raven. He also played for Notre Dame, and he's a Harvard graduate. And he's a member of MVP, and we've become close. And several years ago, I started training his two young sons, and they're in martial arts. And now Jerome happened to start a youth baseball league called Team MVP from a bunch of these kids that were, I guess, spread out around town, but they all knew each other from different places,
Mm-hmm.
and they could all come together. And Jerome said, "Hey, Tim, I'm putting together this baseball team. would you mind coming over and just, just give him a little, motivational speech? So I went over, I guess maybe 5, 6, I don't know how many months ago it was, but I spoke to him and I told him what builds confidence. And what I
Mhm.
told him about was the story of when I stopped eating Captain Crunch berries. And Captain Crunch berries was my favorite cereal. But because I stopped eating Captain Crunch berries from my fighting career, every time I walked to the ring and I was bouncing and I was looking at the other person, I was like, man, I stopped eating Captain Crunch berries for you.
Okay.
And the boys really got it. They were like, man, I like Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And ends up the feeling I got from them that day, Brian, I mean, I love working with kids anyway, a lot of times in martial arts, but I played baseball as well when I was little, and I know Jerome's boys anyway. And I said, if you guys need any help, let me know. So I came back and talked to them, and then they started coming to the gym, doing the conditioning. And it's just been, I checked myself the first time. I was like, okay, it's the first time I'm with them. I got, I felt it. And then the second time I went to see him, I was like, man, they came to the gym. I was like, oh, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yes.
I
I
love
love that.
goosebumps, man. That you make us, now, after this show and after speaking to you, I have to say, and for those watching First Two Steps, I guarantee you will appreciate Goosebumps a lot more moving forward, because we sometimes take that feeling for granted. And that's a feeling that you wish you could get every day. So very, very cool. Very
Hey,
cool.
Rock, have you seen Avatar?
Yeah.
Okay, so follow me now. When
Okay.
he's up there in a tree,
Okay.
this guy's in a wheelchair and he gets transferred. Now he can move his
And
legs and
now he
everything.
can move his legs. Yeah.
Yep. Because his heart was in the right place,
Mhm.
when he was standing there, he was able to receive. Remember all them things that dropped on him?
Right.
That's, if your heart's in the right place and you are going in the right direction, you will receive a signal. That signal, if you want to know what it is, watch Avatar, and that's the feeling that happens to my skin when I'm around this group.
That is
That's awesome.
so amazing. And I hope that everybody watching, I hope that your heart's in the right place and you do what you love and you get to feel those goosebumps. That is cool. I'm gonna think about that now.
That is cool. Tim, we talk about your work with the veterans and with kids. Are you there?
Yes.
All right, good. It, we constantly are going back and forth, and we talking Tim about becoming the world champ. At 26, you went over. I don't know if you realize, but it seems like every time I talk to you, and it sounds weird to even put it like this, we're talking about the body. Um, you your body shots that you won your international championship with, your body shot to win your fourth round, and for your championship. And I got to read off my notes. Sometimes it goes through your constant pursuit of happiness that you go through. We talk about a heart of a warrior, uh, the word love, how that's part of you. So a couple things as I was coming through and I was looking through and I wrote down different words that you were part of military, juvie, try to end everything. How, as we talk about motivation, dedication, everything that goes in place, what was your biggest step? It seems like to reinvent yourself. You were a fighter. You taught boxing you were a coach. You still are a coach. I watch your videos almost like I'm stalking you. I feel like some days when I'm sitting there and I'm going through and there's inspiration, and I truly believe there's always somebody that's watching us, and you don't know who you're encouraging. And actually we posted a quote not long ago about, I truly believe that there's somebody you've not yet met today that you're encouraging somehow. And there's people that probably have never met you that are going to be watching this that you're encouraging, or other fighters. But when you go talk about reinventing yourself, you were military, juvie, fought till you blacked out, twice tried to off yourself. You won in the ring. Ironically, you lost at both of those, thank God, in doing. And yet now you're a coach of a baseball team. You're teaching kids boxing. You're a successful businessman. You are but still in your world of fighting and everything. How do you feel like that you've reinvented yourself to be this incredible leader that you are today?
You know what, Brian? I think what it is it's a feeling that I had strived for so long that I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew that I had felt something. It's kind of like somebody, if they win a big jackpot at the slot machine, you can never tell them that you can't win. You know what I'm saying? Even though they spent all their money and plus on, they didn't win. Well, when I was a little kid and I lived in in Oklahoma, and I had my best friend Jamar, when I stayed at his house, there was a feeling of family. There was a feeling of love that was so special to me. I don't remember getting goosebumps, at his house and stuff, but I remember that, look, one night, Jamar always used to wear a do-rag before he goes to bed, right? Keeps his hair down, right? So I got big bushy red hair. So I put on a do-rag one night before I go to sleep. I wake up in the morning, I walk around the house, I'm thinking I'm cool, I got my do-rag on. And his dad he looked at me, he goes, boy, and then he just, he said, take that thing off your head, boy, that ain't for you. And I was like, what do you mean? And he just laughed and laughed and laughed. He never even said anything. He started coughing, he just laughing hard. But the feeling of family and that feeling of love, I knew it was out there. So when I would battle, and then I would, people would be nice to me or people would love me, I would feel okay. But that same feeling of positivity, I knew it was out there. So I was always, no matter what roadblock I hit, or no matter what a hurdle I fell over, or if I knocked myself down, I knew there was a great feeling out there. I just had to listen to the other voice. There was a great voice inside me that always led me to good things. And there was signals in my life, Brian. Things would happen that's so good. I'm so lucky. People would come into my life and they would help me out doing this. They were angels. And I didn't even know they were angels, Brian. We all have angels around us that's helping us all the time, but I couldn't see it. And that night, when the stars fell out of the sky, I said to myself, wait, man, the stars can't be falling out of the sky. And I said, man, this is not the first time that I've received a signal. I will never quit again. I promise I will never quit again. And I'll follow that other voice, because we all got the good voice and the bad voice. But the good voice is always there for us. And sometimes, Brian, I clouded myself up with medication and I couldn't hear that voice. But when I got myself clean and I followed my goosebumps, I came to the right place.
Well, brother, I can tell you, and I give this to Rock as we go to close, that we coin a term like First 10 Steps family. Everybody that's been in here has been like family. We treat family, and Rock closes. I just wanted to tell you, thank you, incredible. The stuff that we're gonna do with bets and everything, and going down the road, I'm like a little kid at Christmas time. I'm looking forward to. I know we're going to set a whole new standard and do things. So thank you very much. So, Rock, go ahead before I, mess up.
You're doing great. Over. Oh no, you're fine. You're fine. So guys, for those watching live, shout out to Brian, who is my special co-host. He'll be doing more of this. Maria's on the line also, and we're gonna. I want to tease a little segment before we go with Tim and before I do the outro. But Maria's gonna do this spin-off. Maybe when we'll go to Vegas, you may get to work out with her, but she gets to also do your workout. So it's gonna be really awesome. She is small, but she is mighty. Trust me. Yeah.
She's 3 feet tall, man. I'm telling you, we hit Vegas, you're gonna know it right off the rip.
No, she's 5'1". She's 5'1". So thank you again, Tim. I keep saying amazing, and I know it's repetitive, but it really is. You have a powerful story, you have an emotional story, you have a passionate story, you have an all of the above story. I think it hits on everything in all different aspects of life for all different types of people going through different types of things. I feel like your life is broken down into different chapters that can help somebody. You can help somebody in each chapter of your life. So truly incredible. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and for sharing that, because I know that those things are not easy to share. I barely share anything. So you really, it takes a very strong person to be able to come on here and share those types of things with us. Thank you so much. Genuinely and truly, sincerely, thank you so much. I know that takes a lot, and to bring that back and to share it with us. So I really appreciate it. I know the whole team does. Tim, you are family. Thank you so much. We cannot wait to go visit you in Las Vegas. And what do you, yeah, I know, I can't wait to work out with you. What words of wisdom do you have for us before we go and close off for First Two Steps? What do you have to say to the people?
I would say, guys, follow your goosebumps. You gotta have a dream. What's your dream? Find your dream, write out what it takes to get there. So you gotta dream, believe, and achieve, and know that I love you and I believe in you.
That's right. I love that. Thank you, Tim. Good night, guys, from the First Two Steps team. That's a wrap.
Thank you. Thank you, guys.